Hello YouTubers. Today we're going to be making a crochet robe. I'm going to be making this robe for my 10-year-old daughter. I have actually already made a robe for my 8-year-old daughter. And since I made the robe for my 8-year-old daughter, my 10-year-old daughter wants one too. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. I've already made a slip knot. I am using a J hook, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Now, this pattern was originally a pattern for a onesie for a baby, and I kind of altered it. So if you find any mistakes or anything, please let me know and I'll try to correct them as soon as I can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to chain 72 chains. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then I'll show you what to do next when you have already chained your 72 chains. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I have chained my 72 chains. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to half double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. You can do this with single crochet or double crochet if you want to. It doesn't matter. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. All right. And now I'm going to half double crochet in the next 8 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is 8. Now in the next stitch we're going to do 1 half double crochet, then we're going to chain 1 and do another half double crochet in the same stitch. And now we're going to half double crochet in the next 10 stitches. This is 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is 10. And again, we're going to do the same thing we did in the last one. In the next stitch, we're going to do 1 half double crochet, then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do another half double crochet in the same stitch. It's a little difficult there. All right. Now we're going to half double crochet in the next 20 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, and again half double crochet in the next 20. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, and I'll meet you back at 20. Alright, so I've gone ahead and I've completed my 20 stitches. Now in the next stitch we're going to do what we did with the last stitch, which is we're going to half double crochet, and then we're going to chain one and half double crochet in that same stitch. Okay, and now we're going to half double crochet in the next 10 stitches. So this is one, and okay, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, this is 9 here, and then this is 10. And then we're going to do the same thing we did before. In the next stitch, we're going to put one half double crochet, then we're going to chain one and put another half double crochet in the same chain. And then we're going to half double crochet in the last 10 stitches. So 1, 2, I just saw what I did wrong. Sometimes this can happen when you've been crocheting for a very long time. So I've chained my 1 here. I had to go back. I was doing double crochets instead of half. Put my half double crochet back in. Okay, now we half double crochet in the next 10 stitches, or the last 10 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is 7, 8, 9, and 10. It looks like I have more. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So in the last 16 stitches then, I'm just going to go ahead and have double crochet in the last stitches. Like I said before, this is a very new pattern, and some of my math, they may be incorrect. This used to be a pattern for an infant, so it's just when I look for robe patterns online, all the patterns say you have to make the piece separate and then sew all the pieces together. I do not like that. I like to make my robe in one solid piece. So I'm trying something new. Okay. There, I finished that. So it it should kind of look like this. So it should kind of look like a square with all the corners. See, this is what you want, all the corners to be there. Okay, so now from rows 2 through 7, okay, we're going to chain 2. You want to crochet over this little piece here. If not, you can just cut it off. And what you want to do is you want to half double crochet. You want to turn your work and half double crochet in each half double crochet. When you get to one of these corners, you're going to put a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet in each one, and that's from row 2 through 7. And I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and then I will meet you back at the end. Okay, so I just finished one part of this, and I just came to a corner, and I wanted to show you what to do. So you see this little hole here. In the hole is where you're going to do 1/2 double crochet, the chain 1, 1/2 double crochet, and then you're gonna kind of need to move it over a little bit because there is a stitch right here, see, and you're gonna half double crochet in that. This is going to give you the increase that you need to make the row bigger as you go along. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest off camera, and I'll meet you at the end of row 7. Okay, I've gone ahead and I finished my 7 rows. Now it should look like this. Now I've already started, but what we're going to do now is make our armholes. All you want to do is chain 2, and then you want to half double crochet to your first chain space, which is here. I was already doing this, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up. Okay. Right here. Okay. Now you're going to half double crochet in that space. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our next space. We're going to skip all the way to our next space, and we're going to half double crochet in that next space, which is here. And then you're going to do the same thing. Now you want to make sure that you put the armholes in the same spot, because if you don't, see, if you do something like this, then you have armholes on they'll be on 2 different sides. So you want the armholes on the same side, like this. So here is our first armhole here. Now you're going to just continue to half double crochet all the way until you get to the next chain space. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up off camera, and I'll meet you once I get to the chain space. Okay, so I have made it to my chain space. I have half double crocheted in my chain space. Now I'm just going to skip right over to the next chain space I have here, and we're going to put the 2 together, and we're going to half double crochet in that chain space just like we did for the other one. And there you have your other armhole made right here. Then you're just going to go ahead and half double crochet all the way to the end. Go. Now if you need to make a robe that would be a little bit bigger than this one, you would just go up in crochet hooks. So the next hook after the J would be a K, and if that's not big enough, you could do an L or an M. You can go up in size to make the rope bigger in size. It's almost to the end here. Okay. All right. Now that we're at the end, we're going to chain 2. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to half double crochet all the way across. When you get to this part, you want to crochet over this and put in at least 4 half double crochets. And then you want to come and do the same thing here. And you want to continue to keep going till you get to the end. And then when you get to the end, you're going to chain 2, and you're just going to go back and forth all the way to the end, just back and forth until you make this as long as you need it to be. I'm going to go ahead and do all of that off camera, and then I will meet you back when I have made my robe as long as I need it to be. This would be the time to take and have the person you're making this for try it on to make sure that the armholes fit good. If they don't, you would have to take this whole thing apart and start over with a bigger hook. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and we'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I have finished my the main part of my robe, which is making it the length that I needed for my daughter, which was about 30 inches. So now I'm going to switch colors, and I'm going to start right here on the arm. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach my yarn right here, and I'm just going to crochet evenly all the way around the arm, still doing my half double crochet, and I will crochet over this here. So now you don't have to switch colors if you don't want to. My daughter prefers to have the blue and the purple, so but you want to crochet evenly around, and then you want to slip stitch at the end, and then just continue to go around in a circle until you make the arm as long as you need it. And then when you're finished making the arm the length, then you would just slip stitch at the end to finish it off. You would make your knot and weave in your ends like I did with the main part of the robe. And you're going to do this for both parts of the arms. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this up for both parts of my arms, and then I will meet you at the end, and then I'll show you how to do the hood. Okay, so I have made my arm here, and of course I've done it for both sides here. I made it the length that I needed it, which was about 19 inches. And now I'm going to show you how to do the hood. Now we're going to start up here at the neck part. And what we want to do, I'm going to turn this around. Okay, So what we want to do is we want to attach our yarn on the corner, and I am switching my colors again. You don't have to, of course. You can stay with one color. So I'm just going to attach my yarn right there, and I am going to chain 2, and then I am just going to crochet, half double crochet all the way around. I'm going to keep going back and forth until it comes up and over. It comes up above the head. Once you get it up above the head, then I'll show you how to close it and make it into a hood. But now this can get tricky because this is the beginning where you started. So these stitches are actually very small. But like I said, you just want to half double crochet back and forth until you get it above the head. Above the head. And of course I'm crocheting over my yarn here to hide it. Okay, just like that. And you're just gonna keep going to get all to the end. Then you're gonna turn it around. You're gonna chain 2 and go back the other way. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to finish this, and then when I get to the end, or I make it where it is above my daughter's head, then I will go ahead and show you how to close it off and make it into a hood. So until then, I'll meet you back at the end. Okay, so I have gone ahead and I have finished my hood here, and it took me about 10 inches. So now what you're going to do is just going to leave this on, and you want to do this inside out. So you want to put them together inside out, because when you get finished sewing them, you're going to push it in so you cannot see the seam. So what you want to do is you want to bring your 2 together, remember inside out, and you're going to slip stitch across. Let me just fix this camera here. Okay, so you're going to slip stitch all the way across. It's so the seam doesn't stick out so much. Alright, just gonna keep slip stitching just like that. Take it all the way across. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off camera, and then I'm gonna show you how to make the loops and the belt. So I finished slip stitching my hood together. Now this is the inside, so I'm gonna just pull it in, and now you can't see that seam anymore. So here is the inside, which here's the seam, and then and there is my hood. So now I am going to show you how to do the loops. So I'm going to make my loop here. Okay, and then I'm just going to chain 5, 3, 4, and 5. And then what I'm going to do is I am just going to we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go back and forth just until it reaches the length that you think is good for a loop. It doesn't have to be very big. Loops are not that big. It's just a loop to hold the belt. So probably like 10 rows would probably be good. Then you're going to chain 2. And then when we turn again, we're going to half double crochet over the tail just to hide it. So this would be my row 3. Be row 3 here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish off camera to row 10. And I'll come back and show you how to sew it on. So I finished my loop, and this is what it looks like. This is my 10 rows right here. So I've already put my yarn through my yarn needle. You're gonna tie off but leave a long tail for sewing. Okay, so here is my robe. Now I don't measure, I just kind of eyeball where I want to put my my loop. So I'm going to fold it over as if it was being worn, and then I'm going to pick a spot to sew on my loop. So I am going to start, I think right here is a good spot, and then you just kind of want to go through the top of the loop and the top of the robe. Don't want the seam or the sewing to show on the other side. So just do the top of the yarn on the robe and the top of the loop. And just go back and forth until you've sewn it completely on. Okay, just like this. Now when you come to the end, don't forget this part needs to be open. I made that mistake and sewed the side shut and had to go back and undo it. You just want to take your needle and weave it through the loops, through the top of the loop like this to get it to the other side. So I'm just going to keep weaving it through until I've reached the other side. And that happens sometimes too when you pull the yarn out of the needle. Just put it back in there. Okay. And then you do the other side just the same way you did the first side. We're just going through the top of each piece to sew it on. Just like this. Go back and forth. Until you reach the very, very end. Just right here. Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to secure it. And how I secure it is put it through the top. And before I pull it all the way through, I'm going to go through again and again. And then while pulling it tight, I'm going to push it down so that the knot is at the bottom. Then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to weave through and come out through the bottom here. So that way my yarn won't show. And then, where are my scissors at? I just go ahead and cut this off, the extra yarn off, and there's your loop right there for your belt. Now, I only made 2 of these. You can make as many of these as you like. I think 2 was enough. So there is your robe. It is completed. Now I'm just going to show you how to do your belt, which I've already started It's very easy. It's not very hard. See here, I chained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I chained 6. Well, actually, I chained 7 for the turning chain. And I just half double crocheted all the way to the end here. Oh, hold on. Okay, to the end there, and then I chained 2, turn, and just keep going. You're going to keep doing this until you make this belt the length that you need it. I would suggest taking it and wrapping it around the person that you're making the robe for, so you know that it fits and there's extra to tie it so that the robe stays shut. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed my tutorial on how to make a robe. I will be putting up a video on how to make a robe for an adult. So, as always, this is Pink Olay saying happy crochet.